So I got a fun one today. Had this van in the other day, needed an alternator. Change that out. I was going to do a video, but it was too much of a pain in the butt. Alternators underneath the engine, and a whole bunch of stuff was in the way, and didn't want to video that laying on the ground. So this is a very territorial Chrysler van, and it's of course the 3.6. So, well, territorial, I mean, it leaves its mark everywhere it goes. Typical 3.6 liter. Down here, it leaks oil everywhere. So it's a 3.6 thing. So the oil filter fill and oil cooler under there. The oil coolers warp or crack, just time. Over time, heating and cooling, they crack, and very typical problem with these 3.6s. And of course, gotta take all this out, all the intakes off, and get inside. So I've been tinkering on this for a little while before I started the video. I was kind of hoping Todd would want to come to help with all this. In case that brake job comes early, then one of us could be doing the other, you know. And but so I've been working on getting all the wires disconnected. Sometimes these can be a real bugger. They get crispy, and the clip, they just don't want to undo. I got it. I had to fight with it a little bit. Got a bunch of hoses. This one's already off. This hose has to come off. This off. I believe this will just come out with the intake. It's been a while since I've done one of these, and actually we didn't have to change the oil cooler on that one. We had to change the spark plugs and coils. This one does have a misfire on cylinder number 1 back there, so that'll get a new coil and stuff. Customer opted out of doing all new coils and plugs because it was like $500 more. But I would say bite the bullet. If you got to do this anyway, bite the bullet, do coils and plugs right away, because you're already in there. Save yourself on labor down the road. But she doesn't expect to keep this van all too long, run it to the ground basically. So just doing the one coil, plug, and yeah. So we'll get in here and I'll show you some of what we got going on. So yeah, these come out individual. Kind of fights you coming out of here, gets caught, but easy enough. And then I'll check wires, get this hose off and out of the way. Oh, what do we got there? Clips everywhere. Plastic clips fight you everywhere on these things. That hose is disconnected there. Didn't want to come off here, so I disconnected it further up. Easy enough. And from the looks of it, should be fairly easy. First thing you want to do, blow this out. I tell you, I spent 5 minutes blowing this out because there was like 10 pounds of dirt everywhere, and that's not going to be good later on. So blow everything out real good. It's not common practice anymore for people to wash their engines. When they do, the other problem is they don't take the covers or nothing off. So all the covers are in the way and you still don't get all that dirt out of there. Get in there. Oh, what a little bugger. All right, be back in a second. These little fellers are a lifesaver in situations like this when your sockets fall off. Down in the engine. Can't see. So yeah, Todd was busy today. He didn't want to come help. So I figured, what the hey, I'll do a video. You guys can be my helpers today. Why not? Oh yeah. There's a stubborn little feller way down here. And it looks like I'm going to have to get in there with a wrench. Can't get in there with a socket. So I'm going to do that real quick and pop this intake off. Okay, so this little bolt down here must have been a Golden Gloves fighter at some point in its life, because it fought me all the way out. Also forgot. Oh, get out of there. There's a bracket back here that has to come off. And more plastic clips. They are not fun. So now that's disconnected and out. Yippee. Yeah, this is the bracket. It's easier to just take the one bolt out and the wire loom that's down here rather than trying to get these. You can't do it with the two bolts. If you're ever working on these things, don't do these two, because you got two on the front. They work against each other. So take the nuts off the front and the bracket off the back. Well, these 3/6s are no fun. I mean, they're not terrible. I mean, this is something you guys could do at home. Any of you guys got your 3/6 in your Durangos or Vans or whatever. It's intimidating more than it is hard. I mean, you got wire connectors, hose connectors, and you like three size. You got 8mm, 10mm, 13mm, and there ain't a lot to it. You can do it. You can do it at home. So I'm gonna get into this here. I'll show you real quick. And so we got the upper manifold off. And this is, I mean, it's just dirt everywhere. We gotta be careful. We don't want to get it down there. So now start disconnecting more to take this lower intake off to get to that bad boy under there. And then I'll take all this off, and then I'll get into it and show you where it's leaking, how it's leaking, why it's leaking. So we'll get at that soon. Well, that took a little bit longer than expected. I ended up having to get the vacuum cleaner out. There's just so much stuff in here. It half-inch thick. Dirt, leaves, grime. But I got it. I loosened all the bolts. You gotta unhook all your injector plugs. Again, more plastic stuff. About 6 more plastic hold down things. Then all you do, you pop it out, because you leave your fuel hooked up. You don't want to unhook it. And you just pop her out. Don't miss the bolt. Don't miss a bolt. Pop it out and Just lay it off to the side. And I'll get you in here and I'll show you what's going on. Yeah. Alright. So, lower intake's off. Got to clean that really good. So here's your oil coolers. And under here, leaks. Get in here. And look at all that oil down there. It's just packed full of oil. And what it does is it leaks over here and down on the transmission. That is just soaking wet. So it's same concept. I think these are actually Torx bits. I gotta get a different one. Get some stuff to unhook and I'll get in there and get her done. Alrighty, so that's where your oil cooler sits. And this thing was, I mean, plumb full of oil. You're looking 2.5 inches of oil. So wet dry vac is your best friend, and a lot of brake clean. Got it as clean as I could. Cleaned up all the mating surfaces, new gaskets or O-rings, whatever you want to call them on these. We're ready to go on the intake. I'm going to throw the new oil cooler in. That's this bad boy here. All new O-rings, bolts. Comes with a filter already. I'm going to throw that in. The plugins weren't bad. The hose is kind of a bear to get on because you got to, well, and it's swollen pretty bad, so I didn't want to let go past the sensors. So I'm going to get this going because I just got a call. My other customer is going to be coming in a little while, so I got to get boogieing. So I'm going to get the oil cooler in, probably the lower intake on, and then I'll kind of resume from there because I still got to change the coil back here too. So alright, see you in a little bit. Alrighty, so I got the intake on, the lower intake. All went well, everything was smooth, all torqued, ready to go. I did say the coil was bad. Changed the coil, pulled the plug, and the plug was like destroyed. I did a short video on Facebook for that, but the spark plugs were all bad in this thing. So I called the lady with the car because she opted out of changing them at first, and she said, yeah, go ahead, change them. And they were easy, probably 50,000 miles overdue. And so I put in an order real quick Saturday, so O'Reilly's doesn't deliver on Saturdays. But the guy working goes above and beyond for customers, I'll tell you what. And he goes, you know what? He goes, I'll bring them right now. Oh, said, no kidding. Yep, bring them right now. Literally 25 minutes, he's in my driveway. Give me the plugs. So, and he knows who he is. Anybody local knows who he is. You shop at O'Reilly's. They really do treat me good. All of them do. If I need something, I mean, if I'm in the middle of a job during the week, they'll do an extra parts run just to bring it to me. So, just to get it earlier. So, new spark plugs. I gotta hurry up here because brake job here. They showed up a little while ago. Get this done. I don't really want to stop doing this because hard part's done. So I think I'm going to finish this up real quick, hook everything up. Then get the brake job in here. I was just going to do it in the new shop, but I'm going to leave that open for today because there's potentially another person coming. And might be able to just throw them in there real quick too. So, alright, I'm gonna get back to this. I'm gonna get all the coils hooked back up, and then I'm gonna start putting the intake back on. I'll get at it again. I'll show you. Well, I do apologize for that last couple minute section. My mic croaked on me and I didn't know it. Intake's on. It's like 6 bolts. I mean, it was easy. It was 5 minutes. So that's all ready to go. I am going to just finish up connecting everything and fire up and get it out of here because I have to get to this other job. So I'm not going to bore you with all the rest of the details. I mean, it's just some electrical plugins, hoses, and it's ready to go. Throw the intake thing back on and ready to rock and roll. So that's it for this one. 3.6s are fun, but hopefully it's good for her until it goes to the junkyard. So I will see you guys in the next one. I'm not going to do a video of the brake job. I might do a video, but that's for a different reason. So alright, I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good one.